This is Charlie, and I'm coming back to you for, is it episode 6? I think it's episode 6. My husband's just took the kids out to the woods locally, so I thought, great, this is my little window of opportunity during half term to try and record this. How's everyone coping with the half term mayhem? In Cornwall, it's got crazy this week. A journey that normally takes me 20 minutes took me an hour yesterday because of traffic. It's just been crazy. It's the only way I can describe it. And our little village here that's right by the beach, it's just cars everywhere. But yeah, for routine wise, it's not a massive change for us. My oldest daughter, she goes to Steiner school, so she's only there 3 days a week anyway. So she's at home a lot, even when it's term time. So that isn't a massive change for us really, but it does mean that I've got less time to clean and keep on top of the house. So let's just say the house is a little bit chaotic. But yeah, I've got a couple of FOs. Well, I say a couple of FOs, I've got a whole wall of FOs. Plus I've got some other FOs that are not fully finished yet. Some whips, some new starts, a little bit of haul, and I've got a book to talk to you about, and then just some shout outs at the end. So yeah, let's start talking about this wall. So I've been envisaging a Barbara Ana wall in my house for such a long time, but I was thinking, how can I do this on a budget, because I don't have, lots of disposable income on top of my cross stitch expenditure, should I say, which just keeps to slowly keep creeping up every month. So I found the wall in the house that I wanted to do it on, and I started looking for affordable frames. So I was looking around charity shops and then painting them with chalk paint, distressing them with sandpaper, or I've also found some affordable frames in the range. So spent a day or two getting them all framed up and housing them on the wall with the help of my husband. So I'm a bit unsure still about the layout and how it's going to grow over time and evolve. I wanted a more higgledy-piggledy sort of arrangement, but my husband, who helped me hang them, is very organised, shall we say, and logical, and he said that he thought a more uniform way of hanging them would look better. So I went with his guidance, shall we say. But I'm really pleased with how it's looking, and every morning when I come down the stairs, because we live in a 3-storey house, so I've put the Barbara Ana wall on the middle landing, which is near our shared study and our daughter's bedroom. And every morning when I come down, I get to see my Barbara Ana wall in all its glory, and it really makes me joyful. And the girls enjoy looking at it as well, which is nice. It's inspiring, isn't it, to see it all the time. So yeah, we've got Floral Dreams, the Freebie Cats and Dogs pattern, which came from the Four Seasons Nitka. We've got Frida Kahlo. Behind me we've got Cosmic Dreams, and then we've got Butterfly Dreams, which was the freebie that came with Wing Dreams, which you can buy now, it's available. And I'm really super happy with how they've all turned out, and I can't wait to see it evolve and change over time. But I thought, yeah, I've got to sit and record here because I've got 5 fully finished objects, which is so satisfying. And obviously this was a start and a whip on my last episode. I finished it very, very quickly after that Flosstube. I just was completely addicted. The other FOs that I've got 3 other ones. I'll start with this one because it's so nearly an FFO. I'm dragging my heels a bit with this one. This is the Perfect pattern by Dirty Agnese. I had finished this on the last one, but I hadn't yet made it into a pillow. So this is back with polka dot, and I've got some lace trim and a little wooden button that I found, and I've stuffed it, but I did this a couple of weeks ago, and I can tell that it needs more, especially in the corners. It needs puffing out a bit more, so I need to fill it with more fibre and sew the bottom edge shut. So yeah, I'm dragging my heels a bit with this one, but it'll get done. I also finished my pretty things. Finished this quite quickly as well. I think I finished this bee, and then I did these two flowers and went round to here, finished the text, and it took no time at all really. It's been washed, but I just need to iron it, and then I just need to attach it to the bag, so that won't take me long at all either. I just need to crack on with it. But yeah, let's hope it does a screenshot. I never have nice thumbnails for my Flosstubes. I've always got my eyes shut, or yeah, never a nice one. So yeah, that won't take me long to finish at all. And then this was a new start, but I've also finished it as well. And this is the new stitch along that I'm hosting with Crafty Yams and Yasmin Made with Love. And it's called the I'm Not Coming Sal. So hashtag I'm Not Coming SAL if you want to join in. It's still going on. There's quite a few people that are still stitching this, but there is some finishes as well. And oh, I love how this turned out. So I stitched this on Zweigart 32 count in olive green, and I did modify a lot of the flosses in this because of the fabric choice that I had. They just weren't showing up. They were quite muted colours, so I did change quite a few. I've changed the colour of the scissors for a darker grey. I changed the teapot for a more royal blue. I've changed the green of the leaves. See if I can get it a bit closer. Yeah, they're different greens, both of them. What else have I changed? Oh yeah, I changed the bobbin here. I changed that for a pink. And oh yes, and I charted this little cupcake. So what was supposed to be here was a crown, but I just didn't really feel like it fit my aesthetic. Like, I understood everything else on it, like the pincushion, the scissors, the teapot, the house, the bobbins. I really loved the flower border and the cat. I felt like I really resonated with everything on it. But I just didn't connect with that crown. I just didn't really understand why it was there, for me personally. So I decided to chart that little cupcake and put it in, because who doesn't love eating cake, right? And I just love the sentiment behind this. Listen, I still want to be invited, but I'm not coming. This is me to a T. I'm such a homebody. And lots of people that have joined in the stitch along have modified it quite heavily in some cases. I know Crafty Yams, she's completely changed the colour of the border. She's doing like a rainbow border. Instead of a house, she's putting a beehive. She's changed the cat. She's going to do lots of different changes. And I should say this pattern is by Alicia Paulson. I will put the link to the pattern down below. And lots of people have changed the colours. Yeah, there's been lots of modifications in the stitch along, which is so lovely to see and really, really inspiring. And I loved every minute of stitching this. I just loved it. It's a really fun pattern. So yeah, come and join us if you'd like to get involved. The hashtag I'm Not Coming Sal. Then on to the whips. So I'm trying to think. I'll start with this one because this was a new start as well since the last Flosstube. Just find the front cover. So I've shown this pattern before. This is Barbara Ana, Forest Queen. and I just had a real itch to start stitching this. Oh, got threads coming out everywhere in my bag. And I'm stitching this on Zweigart 32 count in vintage wood. Just find something to put behind that. I think I've got a notebook here somewhere in this pile. There we go. So yeah, I've managed to start stitching her lovely face and the squirrel and the lamp here, which I'm going to go back and pick up. But I love stitching all the little motifs on here. There's going to be some mushrooms and some acorns, and then her dress is just absolutely beautiful, if you can see on the screen there. But it's all these like floral, this floral print, which I think is stunning. So yeah, I stitched on that I think for about 4 days after my lost floss tube, and then I put it down. But I will go back to it. I feel like I should work on the Winged Dreams because I haven't touched that at all. And I suppose Barbara Ana will be coming out with something else soon, so I should really crack on with that. She's been a bit quiet, Barbara Ana. She must be planning something. And then I decided to go back and start working on my feline cats. So I think this was at the point where I needed to finish this shoulder and work the way down, and I think I was up to about this point. So I've gone down and stitched all his leg. So I just need to carry on with these other paw here. He's got a big pink tail, I think it's pink, comes round, and then just to finish off the rest of his body. And then I unpicked the yellow that was at the edge of these stripes and at the edge of this next cat's body because I'd used the wrong yellow. But yeah, I really loved stitching this. However, that is a lot of filling. I can't remember what colour it is now. Might be 3821 off the top of my head. But yeah, it was a lot of filling, and it did get a bit boring after a while. So yeah, I wanted to start something else. But yeah, I think once I've got this cat finished, and I think the tail will make it a bit more interesting. Once I've got that cat finished, I'll move on to the third one. There's 4 cats in this pattern. Then it will get a bit more exciting. I can't unfold this bit because it's stuck in the back of the nurge frame. This is the largest nurge frame. This is the size 4, and I am finding it a bit harder to get tension on this one. If anyone's got any tips, then let me know if they've got the size 4 nurge and also had this issue. Yeah, I'm just finding it really tricky to get good tension on this one for some reason. So I am having to, don't mind my messy back, but I am having to like tuck the edge of that bit in underneath to try and get a bit more fabric in there to try and tension it a bit more, but it still feels a bit baggy. So yeah, I just need to crack on with that last bit of that cat, and then I think I will enjoy it a bit more when I get onto the third one. And then the last whip that I've been working on, this is a new start again, and I'll put a picture of it up here because I haven't got a colour picture of it because I bought it off Creative Poppy and I've only got black and white printer. And this is the Hummingbird Scissor Fob by Barbara Ana, and this is where I've got up to. It's not focusing very well today. If I hold it back here, there you go. I absolutely adore the DMC collars in this. I'm using all the called for DMC. This is the smallest nurge hoop. This is the size 1. And yeah, I'm using all the Cool 4 DMC. Oh, and it's just so gorgeous. Yeah, so it's not very big this. I've just started on the second hummingbird here, and then there'll be a few more flowers. So what's really interesting about this design is the hummingbirds and the little hats, they're stitched 2 over 2, but all the flowers, they're all stitched 1 over 2, which I've not done before, but I've really enjoyed. And aren't those colours just popping off this fabric? So the called for in the pattern I think was 36 count, but I didn't have any of that, and I wanted to use this, so I got 32 count Murano splash in the light powder pink. I just thought it complemented the colours so much and made them colours really pop. So yeah, 1 second, I'm just going to go and grab something I want to show you. So here's the black and white picture, so I can talk about it, but I will put the colour picture up. So this is the top cushion that I'm stitching now, and then there's this little small one, and then you make this cord out of the cord for floss that runs all the way between these beads. I have been looking at ceramic beads on eBay, and I think I found some that I really like. And on the back of the cushion, I've got a picture of that. There's quite a lot of written instructions about how to assemble this, so I'll just hide that. But it gives you the chart, so you can put your own initials on the top cushion on the back with these flowers and the date that you made it, and then you make the tassel as well, and then it holds your scissors. So I've been a bit unsure about whether to keep this as some small pillows or whether to make it into the scissor fob, but I've got these scissors that I think will match it perfectly. I call them my peacock scissors because they like pink and teal and purple, like depending on how you look at them in the light. They're really interesting. I think I bought these at Hobbycraft. They weren't very expensive, but I thought that they would complement the colours a lot. So what do you guys think? Do you think that I should keep it as a small pillow, or do you think I should make a scissor fob and complete it as it is in the pattern? I'd love to know your thoughts about what you think about that, because I keep thinking one day, oh, I'm just going to keep them as small pillows, and then another day I'm like, no, I think I will make the scissor fob, because I'm forever losing scissors and then not finding them. They turn up a week or so later, so it would be good to, I could just grab that scissor fob and I would know where things are. But yeah, I bought this fabric from the Patchwork Rabbit and I love it. So yeah, that's everything that I'm working on. Oh, hang on, I've also got this to show you. So this is a piece that I've been working on. It's not cross stitch, it's free motion embroidery bit, but I will show it to you. This is a piece that I've been working on for a few weeks on and off, just an hour or two here or there. And this is, sorry, I've got an itchy nose. This is some, I followed a tutorial by Stitches by Julia. She's got a really inspiring channel if you're really into sewing and applique and things like that, free motion embroidery. And I showed you this book with a loop in, I think a few Flosstubes ago. So I used a lot of neutral linens that my friend Marilyn gave me, and this bee fabric that I got from Hobbycraft a while ago. This was some lace, and there's also some lace here that my friend Marilyn gave to me. She also gave me these little lace flowers, and some of these are my naturally dyed fabrics that I've dyed myself. So this pink one here I've dyed with avocado, and I think there's some red onion, I think that's from onion, and there's some other ones on there. I don't always know what they are. got this yellow one. I think that might be from Peonies. It's just a light yellow. It's really pretty. And then I use that book to free motion this loop, wild looping on, using washable solvay. And yeah, it's got batting on the back. And then following the tutorial, I'm going to put in some watercolour paints and try and get this finished and get it framed. I have found a frame for this already. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with that. What else have I got to show you? Oh, some haul. This is probably going to be a shorter video today. This came today. This is a Cornish designer called Emma Louise Art Stitch Design, and I bought her even weave kit. So you get the pattern, you get your floss card, and this is anchor threads. I think I've only used anchor threads once in a Barbara Ana design, but you get your colours. They're really pretty blues, those, actually. Aren't they lovely? So that, you get your even weave fabric. I think this was I think it was 28 count. It's really soft, actually. You obviously get the pattern and some instructions. So yeah, I just saw that she had a sale on, and I've been coveting this pattern for a while because I absolutely adore seahorses. So yeah, thought I'd treat myself to that. She's got a few in this range. There's a crab, a lobster, I think it might be a shell, so I might invest in them in the future, but I thought I'd just start with the seahorse at the moment. And she does a lot of Cornish based cross stitch patterns. I'll just cover this up because it's got a code on that I don't know if she'd be happy with me sharing. If you can see there, so she does lots of cross stitch patterns of places in Cornwall. So she does bookmarks and pieces to frame, colouring books. So yeah, I think she's based in St Austell. If that interests you at all, then she's on Instagram and she's got her online shop. So yeah, I put in an order with Patchwork Rabbit. I've bought my advent calendar. I don't know if I've told you that already. So I think I've got to pay the next instalment for that soon. I think I've had a couple of orders from Patchwork Rabbit, but I've only got some of them here because I think I've already used some of them. I think one order I got a lot of the flosses for Barbara Ana Van Gogh that I want to start. I got the flosses for Halloween Tales and Purple Transport, Lindy Stitches patterns. I got the fabric for I'm Not Coming Sal on the flosses, so that was one order. And then I put in another order for some fabrics and pattern and some more flosses for, what did I get the other flosses for? Oh, for the hummingbird, that was what it was for. So yeah, I got the Barbara Ana Woodland Dreams. I just couldn't leave that. They've just ordered in loads of Barbara Ana patterns. They've still got plenty left, so if you want some printed Barbara Ana patterns, then head over to the Patchwork Rabbit. And then I got some small pieces, just some fat 16. Is that how you say it? Fat 16. Just to give a few different fabrics a try. So I got 32 count Murano Splash and Laguna Mint. I got the 32 count Murano Splash Laguna Light Mint. I got a fat 8 of that because I'm going to stitch Sailing Dreams on that eventually. And then I got a couple of fabrics that I've not heard of before. Permin 32 count. So I got the Star Sapphire, which is this really, it shows up as like a greyish colour though, which it is like a blue-green grey. And I got the Country French Golden Needle, which is just a really pretty sort of beigey linen. And then these are, I've got this all kitted up for the Van Gogh pattern, which I really want to start soon, by Barbara Ana. That's some 28 counts Zweigart in the blue, and then they're the called for flosses. I'm desperate to start that. And oh, I asked on Instagram if anyone knew where I could buy a DMC colour chart from, because when I want to substitute colours and I don't have them in my stash, I do struggle with that sometimes. It's just hard to see on the screen what looks similar. Just gonna have a drink of water. So I put a call out on Instagram stories just saying, does anyone know where I can buy a DMC floss card from? Anyway, well, someone that follows me was really kind and said, I've got one I don't use, you can have it. And they didn't want any money for it. It was really kind of them. And then they sent it to me. So it's really fab. So it opens up and it's all the flosses on it. And I think that will make it a lot easier to substitute. So I'm really, really chuffed with that. And I do need to put something to say thank you in the post to them, because I thought it was incredibly generous and kind. I didn't need to do that. But I just thought I'd show it to you in case you didn't know about it or were interested. What else have I got on my table? Oh yeah, I just wanted to tell you about this book. So if you're not interested in books, then I'll say goodbye. And thank you for coming to spend a little bit of time with me, and I'll see you soon. And for those of that you've stayed, I'm going to tell you about Catherine E. Smith Elise. So Catherine E. Smith writes about Cornwall, where I live, and she is such a fabulous author. She wrote a series called Coming Home to Cornwall, and it was a series of 8 books, and it was just so easy to read and addictive. I read the series really, really quickly, and I finished it not very long ago. It follows, I don't want to give away massive spoilers in case you want to read it, but it follows the story of a young woman who, 10 years after first coming to Cornwall and meeting her first love, decides to come back to Cornwall with her best friend, who she originally came with 10 years prior, and they start off on this whole journey of rediscovery and picking up their old jobs, and how their life in Cornwall evolves as they decide to stay. And it follows like quite a few decades, the series of books. And yeah, as soon as I finished one, I had to order the next one from the library and start it straight away. And I finished that series and I felt a bit, oh no, what do I read now? At the library they suggested L.J. Ross. So if you like crime, I think you'd really enjoy it. So she's got 2 really long series. I think one is about 18 books. I can't remember what they're called now, but they're based around one police investigator, and I think it is based in Northumberland, I think, up north of the UK anyway. I haven't started those yet. She's also got another series which has got fewer books, I think maybe 4 or 5 off the top of my head, which is another investigator, pathologist sort of series, which I have got the first book of that, but I've not started it yet. And then she started another series which has only got 1 book in, and I read that book really, really quickly. It's called The Cove, and it is actually, funnily enough, based in Cornwall, that one. And it's based on Kynance Cove. It doesn't say that, but you can tell when you read the description and the cover of the front of the book. And it's about a woman who worked for a publishing company in London, and then she decides that because of certain circumstances, there's this it was actually based on a true story, from what I believe, that she saw in the news headlines and decided that she wanted to base a novel on it, about someone that was pushing people onto the London Underground tracks. And the lady who worked in the publishing house, that did actually happen to her, and she suffers severe PTSD and really struggles with her health after that incident. So she decides that she wants to come and work for a bookshop in the Cove, which is Kynance Cove in Cornwall, gets the job and moves down here, and then all these strange things start happening basically. I won't give much more away, but I read it really quickly, and it's a bit of mystery and crime and romance. Oh, it was brilliant. So the next one in that series comes out at the end of this month, I think, actually, and it's going to be called The Creek, and that's again based in Cornwall. So if you're looking for a really good crime series to get your teeth into with a bit of romance, then I'd recommend The Cove or any of the other two series that I mentioned. If you look her up on Goodreads, then there'll be more information on there. So I've gone off on a bit of a tangent here, sorry, but if you're on Goodreads and want to get connected, then just send me a message on here in the Dropbox below, or on Instagram. I'm at Charly Feathers, and we can connect on there and talk about what books we're reading and keep up to date with each other's new book news. So I'm trying to go back to before my tangent about LJ Ross. But yeah, I then decided to start on Catherine E. Smith's other book series. This is called Connections. I think there's currently 2 in this series. There's Elise and Maggie, and I only started this a couple of days ago, and I'm already well over halfway. It's beautiful. So this is about a lady called Elise. She's nearly 90, and she's very lonely, and her life is very simple, living in a Cornwall coastal harbour town. And her life's very small, and she meets this lady, single mother with a 10-year-old daughter, and they form a close friendship, and they talk about their lives. And without giving much more away, Elise, she was evacuated from London to Cornwall in World War One with a prestigious all-girls school, which she had a scholarship to. And yeah, it just talks about connection with men as a young woman who was not exposed to men because her mum was a single mother, and then she was in an all-girls school all her life until she was 18, 19, so she wasn't really exposed to men at all. And it discusses that, and then her relationship with this single mum and her daughter, and about their friendship that evolves. And then the second one in the story is called Maggie, which is about the single mother. So these books interconnect with one another, and I'm enjoying this one so much. So I'd really recommend Catherine E. Smith's Coming Home to Cornwall series, the 8-book series. I'd recommend LJ Ross, and I would also recommend this because I just can't put it down. Yeah, I love reading, and I used to read an awful lot before I started knitting and obviously cross stitch, but other passions have took over. But I've decided at the beginning of the year that I was going to go to bed a lot earlier. Well, not a lot earlier, but I was going to try and make an effort to go to bed early enough that I would be able to read at least 1 chapter a night. And I also joined a buddy book group on Instagram. So if you're looking for a monthly book to read with people, and then we discuss it at the end of the month, and you'd like to be involved with that, then also send me a message. We've just read this month The Island by Victoria Hislop. Oh god, it's so beautiful. I'll go and grab it actually, and then you can see the cover. Gonna have to do some editing. I've been very up and down this video, sorry. So yeah, this is Victoria Hislop, The Island, and there's actually a follow-up to this one. There is a book 2, which I'm really keen to read, but I never knew anything really about Greece and Crete sort of history, and this is about a mother-daughter relationship and the secrets of a family based around the illness of leprosy, which I knew nothing about before I read this book. And God, it's really heart-wrenching, really beautiful book. It's very small font, and I think it was like 470 pages, so it was quite a big read. And I actually found this quite slow up until about 200 pages, and then it really picked up a pace and I couldn't put it down, so I'd recommend that. So that's our book read for this month. We're going to discuss that tomorrow. Next month we are reading The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. I love Kristen Hanna. I've read Winter Garden by her, absolutely beautiful book, and also Firefly Lane, which I really loved. So this will be my third Kristen Hanna book, and this sounds really interesting. This is based in 1934, and it's about a mother who a drought threatens her land, and she's forced to make the hardest decision of her life: fight for the land she loves or take her beloved children west to California in search of a better life. So a journey of survival, hope, and what we do for those we love, set against America's Great Depression of the 1930s and the Dust Bowl, considered to be the worst environmental disaster in American history. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Oh, and this is the L.J. Ross. This is book one of the Alexander Gregory series. That's one of the ones I was talking about before. So yeah, bit of book chat. I hope you don't mind. I hope some others of you like reading. If you do, I'd really love to connect with you on Goodreads if you're on there. Or yeah, just chat to me about books below. I love talking about books. And lastly, I just wanted to talk to you about some Flosstubes that I've been watching. If you haven't watched Sarah's, I've got it written here, Sarah's Stitchy Spot on YouTube, oh, you are really missing out. She's so beautiful. Her husband has written her intro music and it's amazing. And she's got all these gorgeous projects. She's based in America, and yeah, she's into Barbara Ana, which is always a win-win in my eyes. And yeah, her Flosstube is beautiful. So yeah, I'd recommend you go over and watch Sarah. I've also been watching Bridging from the Museum Stitcher. She's got a lot of energy, and she's also been joining in with the I'm Not Coming stitch along. Her finished piece is absolutely beautiful. She's got some really lovely projects as well. I've been watching Lindsay from Blushing Pink Stitches. I've mentioned her here before, but I thought I'd mention her again. I just watched her latest Flosstube last night, and yeah, she's got some really lovely things. And she also had a recent Flosstube extra about comparing DMC threads to CXC, which I found really interesting, because I've heard a lot of talk about CXC threads, didn't know a massive amount about them. They are so much cheaper than DMC, so it was really good to hear her thoughts and read the comments about what people thought about the CXC threads. So I'd really recommend that if you're interested. I watched Lindy Stitches last night, her latest Flosstube. Oh, absolutely brilliant. I love her energy. I think she's fantastic. She's so like eccentric and got such a wicked sense of humour. I love watching her. And the last person I wanted to mention was Amy from, I'm sure it's Amy, sorry if I've got it wrong, but from Pels and Ponderings. She's a very new channel. I think she's only got 2 Flosstubes out, but she's based in the UK, and she's into Barbara Ana, and she's got some really lovely cross stitch projects. And she's another, she's got a young daughter, I think. So yeah, it's another inspiring mother who is stitching around the limited time that she has around motherhood. But yeah, Amy's also joining in with the stitch along. So yeah, there's some people that I've been watching. I don't know if you're watching them already, but just thought I'd let you know. And yeah, that's everything for me today. A bit of a shorter floss tube, but thank you so much for coming to join me. Thank you to all the people who have subscribed. I've had a little flurry of subscribers. I'm not quite sure where you've come from. Maybe from Yasmin Made with Love, because she does mention me a lot. Thank you, Yas. And yeah, it's been lovely to be with you. Take care. Enjoy your summer. Bye.